I jumped in, started rocking them. It just sounds like we have street thugs policing the street thugs. Really? After seeing this video, I am completely left speechless. And after looking at this video for a second time, it's really just terrible. It is really as bad as people say it is. At first, maybe I wanted to give the cops the benefit of the doubt because we're supposed to view these people as people that are protecting us, people that we can feel safe around. And unfortunately, the way these police handled the arrest of Tyre Nichols was anything but safe. And the video itself is really bad, and no, I'm not going to play it here on this video. You guys are going to go have to find it for yourselves. But for starters, I will admit, one thing that is really bad off the bat would be the fact that Tyre Nichols did try running away from the cops. And from what I've seen, it really did look like he was trying to resist the arrest. Now, does that mean that he deserves to be beaten to death? I don't think so. And really, when he does end up running away from the cops, you really can't blame him because I can only imagine the situation being so adrenaline filled to a point where his fight or flight would kick in. And really, the cops were being extremely aggressive from the very start of the arrest. A cop literally tells Tyre to put his hands behind his back or he's going to break them. And even tells him that he's going to knock him out. Honestly, Tyre probably only ran away because he felt like his life was going to be in danger. And as we can see, really taking everything into consideration, it was. Oh my God, man. This is fucking terrible. Literally. These cops look like gang members in uniform. Like they're literally jumping Tyre. And it just does not. It looks very disturbing. I'm not going to lie to you. Did they really need 5 people to apprehend this guy? Let's really think about this. Look at the size of these cops. They are literal monsters. And when you look at Tyre, he's just a skinny guy. So did they really need to continue pepper spraying him and then honestly start punching him in the face? There was one scene that I saw where he was handcuffed and the cop just started hitting him in the face. Why? It really makes no sense. What is the intention of these cops? They literally stood him up and then he was beginning to get pummeled in the face. There's literally just a sincere lack of care and intelligence from these cops. And it's really a shame because it makes everyone even look at the cops that are actually there to protect us only to fear them. I'm really trying my best to be open to the perspective of the cops here, but really they just did a terrible job no matter how you look at it. Where was the restraint? Like, were these guys trying to relieve their stress on Tyre? It really... Oh my God. Tyre really should not have resisted the arrest and ran away, but these cops should have shown restraint because what they're doing is they're dealing with human beings and they're forgetting that. I think when they wear a uniform, they do feel justified. They think they're doing things for the right cause, and being too absorbed into that makes them forget to realize what they're actually doing. I don't know if it was the adrenaline or what, but it was really stupid to just beat him down senseless and then not even call an ambulance. Being pepper sprayed, tased, and beaten by 5 different officers at one time with their nightsticks. You literally can't make this up. Look, like, if you think about it, that sounds like more than enough to fatally harm somebody. Yes, he did resist the arrest, but that is to be expected as an officer. And when handling this, they just have the worst decision making ever. It is tragic. It is completely tragic. Now these cops gotta walk away with blood on their hands. And I mean, who's even to say whether or not they're even worried about that at the end of the day? Because they can't even know whether or not when they should hold back on someone. I'm sorry, but they really do take full accountability here. Regardless of whether or not Tyre was resisting, they really had more than enough power to deal with this arrest without going to such lengths. This is sick. Why? Why on earth, when they have someone grounded, right? Why are they hitting him? It makes no sense whatsoever. These guys, without a doubt, lost their jobs rightfully. I don't care what anyone says. Apparently, Tyre was provoking these cops while he was on the ground. But I think that the cops themselves should have enough discipline Since they are supposed to be protecting us civilians, they should have a mentality where provocation should not be able to slay them. I'm not an expert on these things, but I know they go through training, and I'm pretty sure that they are trained to have some form of discipline. I know police are human too, and police can sometimes make mistakes, but as people with weapons that can kill, they can't afford to make mistakes. Now, whether or not that is drilled home into the heads of these officers, beating this guy on the ground is beyond me. Because when you have cops saying things like, I was hitting him with straight haymakers, dog, and have another cop saying, I jumped in, started rocking him, it just sounds like we have street thugs policing the street thugs. Really, the recklessness and the miscare from these cops finally caught up to them. And unfortunately, it was at the cost of someone's life. All in all, I don't think Tyre should have resisted the arrest, but honestly, it's understandable because these guys were really coming at him crazy. But in these situations, the best thing to do is just let the cop, the guy with the weapon that can kill you, have their way. And truth be told, there are some crooked cops out there that you may have to actually run away from. But if you comply and the cops treat you terribly, they really have no type of defense. So it doesn't make people look at the entire situation funny, especially when they look at the situation out of ignorance. However, even here, there's no type of argument for the cops whatsoever. This 29-year-old man was clearly killed in cold blood and in the most unjustifiable way possible. Without a doubt, something needs to change. What's up, guys? It's me, Deshaun, and I wanted to add my piece on this as well. Upon the first viewing of this video, you might not actually realize the severity of this situation. In fact, I didn't either. But this is actually extremely heartbreaking. At first, you would look at this situation and you're like, why was he resisting the cops? Maybe if he wasn't resisting so much, he could have possibly survived this situation. And then you also look at the cops and you're like, why are they coming at him so hard? For me, what I deducted from this video, at least from what I've witnessed, this was all due to both sides being extremely ignorant. When it comes to police, it's almost as if the general consensus is the fact that they can't be trusted. And this is due to most of the things that we see like this on the internet. It's almost as if this reaction was learned. And due to that, it was almost as if no other option was considered. And the same could be said with these cops. When Tyre was on the ground struggling, one of the cops commented on how he could not stay down. And the first thing one of the cops said was that he was definitely on something. But little did they know that this strength that was coming from Tyre that they assumed were caused by drugs was all the strength that he could muster with his mom on his mind. This is a woman that he had to protect all of his life, and he would have been damned if he would have ever not been able to see and protect her again. These cops perceiving this man's strength as if he was on drugs was a learned assumption, and they simply beat down on him to a point in which he was no longer alive. Similar to how Tyre running away from the cops and not trusting them was a learned behavior, this same brutality displayed from the cops was learned by something as well. If I had to describe what I witnessed in this video, I witnessed dumb hood shit. Kicking a man while he's on the ground. When a man can no longer put up a fight, aka he's already restrained, you're still swinging on him, getting in your ugly ass haymakers. In fact, the cop even commented how he just ran in and started swinging him with full-on haymakers. That is not restraint at all. Full-on beatdown, punching somebody as hard as you can while they can't even fight back. Tyre had no weapon on him, but it took 5 men hitting him with nightsticks, spraying him with pepper spray, tasing him, and pummeling him with their bare hands. To a point in which it would put his life at risk, and nobody even noticed. Nobody even did anything out of all these cops that were witnessing this. Not a single one of these dudes had a light bulb go off in their head and think, hey, I think this could kind of kill somebody. This is kind of doing too much. They just came in full swinging. It's almost as if they forgot fights could kill people. And it is this dumb ignorance that we cannot allow to happen. This cycle of not knowing needs to be stopped. Because there could have been hundreds of thousands of ways in which this situation could have been avoided.